The ore economy, ranked mode, global chat, and events were all discussed in the latest episode of Inside the Builder's Hut, featuring Clash of Clans General Manager Sabrina. In this video, I want to consolidate all of the update information we received, which was over those four main topics broadly. So let's start out with the ore economy. They had prefaced this in the first half of the interview by getting to know Sabrina. She's worked on the team for like 7 months now, and that she explained how Clash of Clans has a large history, and they are trying to not just continue that, but build upon that, and there's clearly very high expectations. That's why she said it is important that they listen to the players, they are open and honest with us, probably why we have a little bit of information on the things we're going to discuss today, but also that they continue to make the game not just fun by giving the players what it is that we want, but also how that makes us feel so that we are motivated to play the game. And that does tie into, especially when we get to ranked and battle mode, some of the things that she said. But for the ore economy, this is something I discussed in my recent video discussing the state of the game, how I'd like to see this when they actually do it, but by selling event passes and selling ore, let's see how much it gets fixed. But in the episode of Inside the Builder's Hut, we actually received the first bit of concrete information on how they are looking to do that. Because this has been a known problem for a long time, and they discussed returning players, which we already know the ore economy and catching up with equipment is terrible for returning players. Now, what Sabrina said is that they are actively working on something that would allow returning players to catch up quicker. She went on to say, what if ore was not just obtainable through limited time events, but by just playing the game, whether that be, and I quote, upgrading your heroes or progressing in the game. They even put up the hashtag in the video, Ores for All. So clearly, they are going to improve this from the returning player perspective and from the free-to-play player perspective, seemingly there as well. But this is something that Clash of Clans are very fast to act in some areas. For example, the Gold Pass changes, Ferry even mentioned that within this Inside the Builder Hut episode, that they saw the community response, they've clearly seen the data, they fixed it. They improved the Gold Pass instantly. The ore economy has been a known problem for quite some time, whether it comes to returning players, putting it in the re-engagement feature, or the suggestion of gaining ores as you upgrade your heroes has been in the community for a long time. Finally, we are getting to it, but sometimes I would like to see things acted upon just that little bit quicker. I guess what I would say to that is there have been instances in the past. Let's take ranked mode, for example. Legend League, it needed improving for a long time so that you could attack more than 8 attacks. You weren't just stuck there. But they decided to, like, setting aside the issues with ranked mode, overhaul the entire system and bring us a new system that then fixed the Legend League stuff. Yes, it brought its own issues, but they clearly didn't want to do short-term fixes because they had a long-term fix in mind. Maybe that's where we're seeing things with the ore economy here, but again, I do think the hero upgrades is something that's been suggested from the community for a long time, but even low-hanging fruit, putting it there temporarily, re-engaged players for that re-engagement feature, just put some ore in there, and then players coming back to the game in the short term wouldn't feel as overwhelmed and then just quit. Even if you have a long-term plan, I'd like to see some of those short-term solutions added in the interim. However, sticking to the Inside the Builder Hut though, we can be assured they are actively working on a fix for the ore economy. This would include getting ore as you just naturally progress in the game, and specifically by upgrading your heroes. Before we move on to the ranked mode, clearly I'm going to just go down the list here and give you all the information that we received. My guess here is that I wouldn't worry about upgrading your heroes now. When I say I wouldn't worry, what I mean is I would just upgrade your heroes now. There would be uproar if something like this was implemented, but if you'd upgraded your heroes beforehand, you were punished. So I cannot see them doing that, and I just don't want players to be discouraged from upgrading their heroes now. I guess you are welcome to wait and see when we actually get an answer on this. However, I would imagine just upgrade your heroes and play how you usually play now, and know that in the future we will be getting that improved system, and I would imagine they will like give you the ore for the hero levels that you already have. Moving to the ranked and the battle mode then, because both aspects here were discussed. Now, they said that when they implemented ranked mode, it was really to allow people to have a different choice in playing the game. I can understand that, how battle mode, if you just want to farm, you can go into battle mode. Ranked mode is a bit more serious and competitive, but just the fact that the ore economy is so sought after and the star bonus is only tied to ranked mode, it does kind of make it a mandatory thing, especially with the League decay. Thankfully, the Town Hall floor was added, but yeah, I'm not too sure how optional and like how you want to play the game it really was designed. But clearly they're making steps to address that, because Sabrina herself even said that she felt that ranked was a chore and that it added way too much pressure for her. Now, clearly a big improvement was with the April update, where we were able to get the League decay extended from just 1 week to 4 weeks. That means if you progress in the leagues, you can take a bit of a break. You're not going to just get demoted and therefore gain less ore from your star bonus, because even though you can earn your star bonus in battle mode, you can't improve your star bonus to a higher level since it's tied to ranked. So the League decay extension was great. There was obviously some other tweaks to ranked mode with the legend readjustments and UI improvements to where they are happier with ranked, but she did say they're certainly not finished. They will continue to iterate on ranked. However, she also said there is room for improvement in battle mode.
How do we progress? How do we make it even better?
This is exactly in line with what I've been seeing from the comments about battle mode and the feedback I've been sharing to the team, because she did say, how do we make it feel like you have progression there? And ultimately that it just feels better. Clearly, I did a full video about this where I spoke about the old trophy system being implemented into battle mode, and you could actually just upgrade your star bonus by going up the leagues in battle mode, or you could do it in ranked. It would just be mirrored, and I think that would be way better for casual players to feel like they don't have to do ranked. They can still get their star bonus from battle mode. They can actually feel a sense of progression there. You could still have a legend league, even though it wouldn't be tied to any leaderboards since that's ranked. But in like battle mode, you could have a cool area between 5,000 and 6,000 trophies, or even just let that go on forever. And like people would reset to 5,000 each month. But how far could people go in battle mode? That would be pretty fun for casual players. However, without digressing too much, I feel there needs to be something in battle mode to take a bit more strain off ranked. Yes, the ore economy will fix that. Strain off ranked where you don't have to do it, but you can choose to do it, would make ranked more competitive for people. And then there would be that fun progression element in battle mode as well. But likewise, you could just spam your troops in there and like you'd be no worse off essentially. Yes, there could be some trophy road or like the trophy system in battle mode, but if you wanted to just spam Valkyries and do what you do now, well then great. You can still do that in battle mode since the trophies aren't tied to the leaderboard, and you can still get your star bonus upgraded through the ranked side of things. Needless to say though, she did say they are looking into that. It is on their radar, so it is something we could expect in the future. Maybe not the like old trophy system, which I've been talking about, but just thinking of the specific words they said, that feeling of progression and purposefulness within battle mode, that is something we could expect there, especially if they are looking to achieve their objective better of ranked mode being more optional. Linking into the ore economy, I guess ranked and optional as to how you want to play it a little bit, was the events and the pacing of the game, because there are many people right now that feel the game is progressing too quickly. There's so many events. If they miss one, they're so far behind. So what exactly is happening there? Are they considering slowing the pace of the game down?
Are we planning on slowing things down?
And I felt the answer was really interesting because I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. What Sabrina said is I don't necessarily disagree with, but there's definitely... I'll have some comments on it. So she explained how they don't want to slow the pace of the game down because if they slow it down for players that, it's too quick for, then that it slows down the pace of the game for everybody. And some people really like keeping on top of all of the events and actually having a lot of things to do, which naturally is great. So what they want to try and aim for is allowing you to pick your own pace. And they expanded, how they would do that would be through events where it was implied there'd almost be events running one after another, but they wouldn't be as impactful, or if you missed one of them, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Right now, if you miss a medal event, or you're behind on ore, you've missed that equipment, it's like a chore to catch back up. You have to keep going in order to catch all of this stuff. It's trickier to catch up. You can clearly do it, but it's just you've got even more to catch up on. And until this ore fix for the catch-up mechanic is added, then that's still going to be there. Now, we do know from the recent blog post that was put in-game that they are looking to A/B test some events as well. And one thing they mentioned was the treasure hunt event, how, not all players might see that all of the time. So it might be that some of the, mid-town hall levels where progression slows down a bit, they can actually give them some extra events to help them progress through, or maybe as a returning player, they can give them an event in order to catch up. That's something that they're going to be A/B testing to try and get data to support, where exactly and how frequently will these events be successful. Clearly the idea there is good because if you have, let's say you're a Town Hall 18, but a lot of the casual player base are Town Hall 14s and 15s and they're dropping off because progression is so slow, there's not enough happening, then sure, an extra event for those players, if it's going to keep the game more active, it's going to keep clans alive, and well then sure, that's clearly a great thing. What it sounded like from this topic to me is that there would be more events, but the rewards would maybe be less impactful. Because clearly, if you can miss an event and it's not that big of a deal, well then the rewards can't be that drastic because, well then if you missed it, it would be a big deal. And I understand this, but I guess we'll have to see how it plays out because we actually do want those impactful events as well. Those are fun. It's what brings people back to the game. It gives you as an active player a little bit of a boost that is nice every once in a while, right? And I'm sure they're not going to not do those. I'm pretty sure we're going to still see medal events. When they're talking about events, they're talking about a lot of different things here, whether it's clan games, the treasure hunt event, the gold rush, we have the clash versus skeletons. Sabrina actually said they would be looking for new systems and events so that there was always something to do. So again, that's where in my mind it says there would be events happening all of the time. Some of those I just listed are maybe not as impactful reward-wise as medal events, but I think that's what they're referring to as events. That way, if you missed one of them, it's not that big of a deal. If you miss the Gold Rush event, sure, you miss out on some chests, and you will miss out on some progression. You can't expect to miss an event and just, be in the exact same position, progression-wise, as if you had took part in that stuff, but you wouldn't be, miles behind. Maybe there's more cosmetic-based rewards. That's the information that was said. Again, I like the theory behind it. I think it could work out really well. Let's see how it plays out, because as long as we do still have some of those events where they are more impactful, you get that boost as a player as well. It's arguably an area where people can catch up a little bit more. Then as long as they get that balance, I like the idea of this. The other piece of update information we received as part of this Inside the Builder Hut episode, I think was the most surprising, because when they asked for questions to be submitted for Sabrina, we could have expected they were going to talk about the ore economy, the issues with ranked mode, but one thing we were not expecting to hear was global chat. We've always been told that global is removed, Darian always used to say in his interviews, global chat will not return. But he always used to have a little asterisk at the end of that, if you will, where he would say, at least not in its previous form. So there was always that glimmer of hope, and maybe that is where, from the community, we have seen comments time and time again, where is global chat? This is the strongest indication we have received, and I am going to say it is virtually concluded as much as I would say that they are working on a replacement for global chat. And you will see why I say it is a foregone conclusion. So this topic was brought up about the social aspect of Clash of Clans. Sabrina said that she is a big believer Clash is better together, and that they are cooking up something so that players can be better connected globally. And they kept saying that word.
Globally. 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 Whee! Globally.
All of our players around the globe will be very interested to hear about this.
That is why I say they almost concluded that it will be coming. Like, those choice of words, they would not use if it wasn't being worked on or something along those lines. It was said, and I quote, "The reality is something really cool is coming. I just can't say because there's a whole plan around it." Clearly, something like Global Chat would have a big launch plan. They would have something around that. And I know Sabrina has only worked on Clash of Clans for 7 months, but she said it is the biggest thing they have worked on since she's been there. So even though she's only been there a short time, that is a big statement, and she closed out the section by saying that this feature is all about connecting and community. Clearly, like all of these videos where I condense the information, give my own take on it as well, I will put the Inside the Builder Hut episode link in the description of this video. Let me know what you think of any of this info though, and I will place on your screen the video where I broke down having the old trophy system in battle mode, exactly how that would work alongside ranked, and the first episode from my new series on my main channel, Beating Every League. This one was a 1-hour special taking down all of the skeleton ones. Enjoy the rest of your day.